You're listening to the Seen and Solved podcast, brought to you by Hubbard-Hall. Better results, less chemistry.
So welcome to this episode of Seen and Solved. I'm your host, Tim Pennington. And today we're being joined by Katherine Kiebowicz, who is Hubbard-Hall's Vice President of Data Strategy. Katherine, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Great. So today we're going to be discussing how Hubbard-Hall is becoming a digital leader in the metal finishing industry. But first of all, give us a little background, two things. One, if you could tell us what is data strategy as you're talking, and then give us a little bit of your background. Why don't we start there?
Let's start with my background first. I've been at Hubbard-Hall for 25 years. It's been a long, winding journey that led me here to VP of Data Strategy. I started as a summer intern in 1998, getting ready for Y2K. So dunked my toes into that little bit of digital and data there. For those who don't remember, but there was a problem with systems at that time. They didn't have the 4-digit year on there in the world. Right. It was going to be a catastrophe.
All right. We all held our breath.
And then nothing happened.
Nothing happened, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
From there, I was offered a position after a while and started working in the accounting department, which was a fantastic opportunity. I worked in the finance and accounting department for the last 25 years, really helped me learn everything about Hubbard-Hall, processes, understanding how everything worked here, and started getting interested a little bit into the technology. Our ERP system sort of became the subject matter expert of that. Twinkle in a lot of lean training and ISO training, and it sort of merged all into this all together for me, where I have a great ability to understand and see the processes of the company and then sort of figure out how technology can really help us find those gains, those efficiency gains through lean or ISO. Was part of a digital leadership team for the last 3 years. There were 3 of us working on this digital strategy and path. And this year we decided we were going to put all our eggs in this basket and really allow me to take the reins of this, create a data strategy for how we're going to use data and digital tools to sort of take us through the next this next wave of oncoming and exciting time here with AI and everything else happening. So it's a really exciting opportunity for me. I'm really excited to take Hubbard-Hall. And it really goes to show from the top down how important this initiative is to the company, that we're really willing to create an entire role dedicated to making sure that we're charting the correct course for us in digital transformation.
Yeah, it is ever changing. I mean, just wait, it'll change to something else. That's why I think you almost have to be on top of it on a daily basis. This is one of these things where you look at quarterly or half a year or at the end of the year. It's something you really have to look at on a very regular basis, correct?
Especially lately, I would say, it was pretty easy to put together a roadmap these last couple of years. Technology was changing, but not that rapidly. I would say what we've seen happening in the last 6 months with the advancements in artificial intelligence, I'm going to be spending the next couple of years really digging in every day and seeing how much it's changing and what's happening and trying to adjust our course to decide where we're going.
Share me some examples, if you could, of the digital advances that Hubbard-Hall has taken and has made when it comes to metal finishing. Give us some examples of that so people will have maybe a better idea of what that is all about.
Sure. So our digital plan has really focused on 3 cornerstones of advancement here. One, it's sort of internal efficiencies, which still allows us to get our product to our customers faster, make it easier for them to do business with us. We've done things like we've incorporated barcode scanning throughout all of our facilities. Nice side on that, it's also eliminated data entry. We are trying to change how we go to market. So we're implementing e-commerce across the board, online platforms. We're trying to look at the next generation of customers at us and trying to provide them a lot of different ways to communicate with us. So you don't have to, pick up the phone to place an order for us. You can go to our website. You can see our chat bot. We're sort of trying to multi-channel our way across so that our customers can come to us the way they feel the most comfortable.
It's certainly changed a lot. Like I said, people that I know I've heard from shops say, a great benefit is they can be right on the shop floor, have an idea of something they want to order, pull out their phone, place an order, or talk to somebody very quickly. So, these advancements, like I said, they've impacted, suppliers who work with metal finishers, but also the industry, correct? I mean, it's a different way of they're doing business with you all.
Absolutely. I mean, overall, I still feel like the industry itself is probably a little bit slower coming up to terms with that. We still have, so that's why I think it's important to sort of balance everything through that. We have customers coming at us through their old channels still. Email is still the number one way for people to communicate with us. And just trying to, again, keep an eye on the fact that there is more newer generations coming through who are going to want to speak to us, come at us a different way. Not even just from, placing orders, but how are people communicating with our tech experts? You have a problem tank side. We're trying to come up with solutions. How do we create ourselves a little, maybe an artificial tech, or how do we get our techs remotely on site so that we can solve your problems faster, get to those customers and get their hurt taken care of in a much faster way than we are today.
Something you just mentioned, and I hear this from a lot of shops who are hiring people, and they're saying, we hire people and they do things. They're younger and they do things differently. They like to be more, computer based and screen based and all those type of things. But it leads me to ask, how do you see the landscape of metal finishing, kind of changing in the next few years, and what role, again, does technology such as artificial intelligence play in that? Do you think?
I say now, as of what I've been seeing the last 6 months, I fully expect within the next 6 months to a year that the landscape of everything is going to be changing. The speed at which artificial intelligence is coming up and coming through is really going to change the way even just these shop floors are working. You're going to see more automation on shop floors. I think the large language models of artificial intelligence, so your Chat GPT or your Google Bard, all of those, they're going to change the way everyone is doing everything. You're going to see more robotics. You're going to see artificial intelligence happening with QC. So or preventative maintenance on equipment, analyzing that data that's coming through these things and knowing that there's a problem before even we as people can know it is. I think it's happening. It's happening very fast.
I think a lot of shops are looking for that because, with the workforce issues they're having, they're trying to automate as much as they can, right? I mean, it's not so much they just need eyeballs on their processes all the time, but they need a lot more automation, which would lead itself to really, maybe some AI technology to help them do that, I think, right?
Absolutely. And I think what the most interesting thing is I think in the past, maybe it seemed a little bit more difficult to think about automation or robotics and then the capital that's required to implement those sorts of things. What I think is we're going to see happening with this artificial intelligence and the speed at which it's changing, I think it's going to bring down the investment, maybe find us some quick returns on investment on some of the things that they could do for us. They just can take enormous amounts of information, process it, synthesize it, and get it out really quick. It's great for, again, things like automation of preventative maintenance, QC. So I think we're tipping our toes into AI a little bit slowly right now. We're testing the waters. The way we deploy digital is we get really excited about all these tools and everything, but we really try to strive to find the problem first. So identify the problem that we're trying to solve before we just start throwing technology at things. So the biggest thing we're doing with AI right now is just sort of playing with it, checking it out. As the IT person, I'm concerned about the security of it. So just sort of like paying attention. I'd say mostly what we're seeing now is a lot of use of Chat GPT or Google Bard to help with idea generation or to help construct emails or policies. It's really great at things like that. As an example, the other day, I'm trying to set a corporate policy for the use of artificial intelligence and tools. And, what probably would have taken me hours or days to sit there and construct, I sort of reached out to Google Bard and said, hey, I need a policy on this, gave it my things, and boom, it's given me, 4 different options so that it's really a great jumping off point. So right now I see it automating those types of tasks, right? Salesforce using it to help generate emails and construct things. We've seen our marketing team use it to help generate graphics. So we're coming up on our 175th anniversary here at Hubbard-Hall and trying to create some new and fun logos rather than trying to outsource a graphics. We've asked AI to sort of come up with, and they've come up with some great graphics and fonts. So it's been fun.
I don't know if there's any pushback for people, but any drawbacks to incorporating that so far?
Yeah, I mean, culture is a big thing, right? Trying to get people comfortable with how to use it, learning how to use it. I mean, just the large language models, again, ChatGPT or Google Bard, you talk to it with everyday language, which is wonderful, but we're not used to interacting with technology that way. So there's a little bit of a learning curve there. Trying to keep our data and our proprietary information safe with the use of AI, I'd say, is the biggest drawback that we're seeing now. We're a little nervous about how we deploy it or what we deploy it on, just because we want to make sure that it's not mining our proprietary information and making that available out on the World Wide Web.
What kind of challenges have you all faced adopting this technology? And I guess, give us an example of, how you've kind of overcome incorporating that into what you all are doing on a daily basis.
Yeah. Like anything else, change is hard. So I'd say that's the biggest battle that we usually face when trying to deploy a new technology or, make a big change to a process. Is it's really making people comfortable with the change. People hear technology and that sounds very scary. So, first and foremost is trying to create a culture of people who are accepting of it. Really trying to get users to understand the positive side of the win for them and what's going to happen. People hear automation, they hear artificial intelligence. It stirs up a lot of fears. Right? So trying to create a culture of people who are really, who feel comfortable with that and are energetic. I think that takes a lot of years and time to build. And again, I think we've also learned through our course, the last couple of years, is really making sure that we've solidly identified the problem that we're trying to solve. I mean, that's probably universal, not just in digital or anything else, but before we're making such a big change or investment, making sure we've clearly identified what it is that we're trying to do.
First, do no harm, right? I mean, you're trying to not cause more problems than you're trying to solve them with that.
Absolutely, yes. And then finding the right partners. Again, we're a small business, small family-owned, women-owned business. So making sure that we're bringing in partners who have the kind of expertise that we need. We don't have a house full of experts here on technology or artificial intelligence, advanced analytics. So making sure that we take a lot of time to vet out that we're bringing on the right partners to help us through this, and people who have the same vision as us has been very important.
We're talking about the rapid pace, right? And I think, I don't think I heard about ChatGPT till 4 weeks ago. It seems like, I didn't even know what it was until, like I said, months ago, really, that this could even work. How does a company like yours, stay ahead of that curve? And really, even shops that you do business with, they need to be paying attention to how they can work easier, more smoother, certainly with suppliers like yourselves as well, right?
So I think for us, it started really with our, we're such a lean, heavy company, right? And having that continuous improvement mindset, I think, is what really helps push us there. And getting people excited about that continuous improvement journey. And then that's when they start seeking out, I think you try to make it fun. So we've been trying to talk about ChatGPT and Google Bard and encouraging people to go out and use Google Bard to help plan vacations or itineraries, trying to help them learn about it in their personal lives first, and then just making it a fun type of thing, and having to do the same with our customers, educating them and helping them along in our journey, trying to do things like this to let people know, hey, these are the things that we're looking at. Here's how it can help us. Here's how it can help you.
The more you became ingrained with the process, I remember the same thing was with, fax machines and emails and things like that, where people would still, call me up when I would say, well, you can email me on these things, but it's a slow adaptation of that. But I guess you're right. Once they get involved in it and start using it, it kind of makes it, second nature to them to a certain extent, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's really helpful to have a culture of continuous improvement, and then technology just sort of stacks on top of that. You have a culture of people who are used to always, how can I make my process better? How can I, this seems a little bit cumbersome. What can we do? And it sort of just stacks on there. People with that mindset get a lot really excited about digital or technology improvements.
You kind of said this is kind of a newer position that you've kind of moved into over the last while.
Yes.
I'm sure one of the first things you all did was set goals. What do you want to do? How do you measure it? So talk about that. What are some of the goals that you all have? And most of these, like I said, are really for the customers, really for your customers, to make it better for them to interact, to order, to get information, to get technical information. But talk about some of the goals that you all have set.
Yes. I mean, so our overarching goal, the big goal, right, is we want to be the digital leader in surface metal finishing. So we think there's an advantage to getting in there and being the first to deploying all of these technologies and stuff. We want to make our customer experience better. So using technology to really sort of, we have this analogy where we want to hug our customers a little bit tighter. So we want our digital to make sure that we're holding on to those customers that we have, making it so that we are doing business with them faster than they expect, and that we're, making it easier for them. We want to use digital to, expand our reach to new customers, making it easier for people to come to us and find us. And internally, one of the big goals that we've set, it sort of falls under creating efficiencies, but we have a goal in the next 2 to 3 years to eliminate data entry the entire organization. So finding ways to automate the things so that we have a company of people who can all help our customers. So we've talked about here about building a brain that sort of democratizes information so that your first line isn't, let me transfer you 3 people over to find the right tech person for a simple solution. It's, hey, we all have the information available at our fingertips to help all of our customers without having to move them around the organization.
We talk about this, but it just seems like, when we look 3 or 4 years from now, we'll think this is sort of second nature, right? This is the way everybody's going to be doing it this way. But a lot of things, I think, when you're talking about data strategy, is really to help the customer interact, like I said, to make sure that they can give you information that you need, and you supply them in the best way. So it's really nothing I don't think that people should be fearful of, and that they can't still pick up the phone and call one of your great technical people and talk to them if they need to, right? I mean, that's still always going to be available to them.
That's the number one goal, is to make it easier for them to get the answers that they need faster. So the number one goal is we want our customers talking to our people. So the less time we're spending data entering or doing things like that, the more time we have to interact with our customers and give them a top-notch experience, whether it be from our technical team, our customer service team, our environmental team, whatever it is that they need, making sure that they have a top-notch experience.
Well, that's very interesting information. I'm glad you shared it with us today, Katherine. I want to thank you for joining us with the at Seen and Solved. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. It was an excellent conversation.
Thanks for listening to Seen and Solved by Hubbard-Hall. For more episodes, visit hubbardhall.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe, rate and review, and join us on social media. Produced by Awcast.